Hey guys, Zero here. Actually, my name's John. I go by Zero. It's been a while since I've been in front of the camera, and it's been a while since I actually put a video up. And I kind of wanted to give you guys an explanation as to why, or an understanding as to why, what's been going on with me over the last couple months, and why I haven't really been active. I do want to say, I assure you guys that I am going to continue to be active on this channel. I want to create more content for you guys. I'm trying to think of new ways to bring different content. I love doing unboxings and I love doing reviews, but most of the stuff that I've done, it's either I've had it or I got it for specific purposes. So we're going to try and keep doing some of those, but I'm going to try and do some other videos too for you guys. Maybe some running RC reviews and things like that, and different content. I'm adding things to the channel. I'm going to start a playlist for my D&D hobby, my Dungeons and Dragons, and other role-playing games and stuff like that. Just kind of going over stuff I've learned and things like that. I also added a new playlist called Cabby's Corner. My buddy Rob contacted me and said he was thinking about doing some videos on some of the projects that he's working on right now, and I thought that was a great idea, and I encouraged him to see if he wanted to do them himself. So he sent me a couple videos that he had made, and I thought they were great, so I actually put them up, so you guys can check him out. Cabby, my buddy Rob, Cabby, aka Cabby, he's been in the hobbies for a long time, ever since he was a little boy. I've known him since 2000. He was a model builder, RC car driver. He flew airplanes. He's done a bunch of different things. We played airsoft together. We actually started the Section 8 Airsoft Club together. He was the vice president, and he ran it while I was, not around or whatever. We've done a lot of things. We got a lot of hobbies in common. So Rob's got a lot of experience, and he has a different method of doing things to achieve his goals when it comes to hobbies. Where I follow like my textbook process. He goes a little bit different route. Sometimes it's a bit unorthodox. Sometimes I'm like, man, I don't know what you're doing, but good luck. And we've coined the phrase redneck tech, and that to me summarizes Cabby. But it's great. His videos are going to be pretty cool. He's going to do airsoft builds, and his full reviews on some of his airsoft rifles that he's had for years. Not none of this, not just unboxings, but actually reviews, guys, stuff you guys should know and should see. So give him a chance, check it out when you get the chance. And I want to say thank you to all my subscribers. There's not a lot, I know, it's like close to 100 though. That to me is a big deal. I created this channel to share content with my friends who are far away from me. I didn't actually create it to share with the public and with everybody else, but it just grew, and I just fell in love with doing the process. So I want to continue, and I want to bring you guys, like I said, more stuff. So hopefully I can get to that stuff real soon. So, and I apologize, this is going to be a long video, so if you want, you can pause, go grab yourself a cup of coffee, can of Mountain Dew, or a cup of tea, depending on where you are, and settle in, because I got a lot of stuff to talk about. Mainly what's happened to me, what I've been through, and why. And I don't, I'm not pressured to do this. I'm not, I don't feel guilty. I just want you guys to know that I feel obligated to you guys to explain what's been going on with me in greater detail, so that you have an understanding, and hopefully, we can kind of shed some light on some stuff that's going on that a lot of people don't know about. So I was in the hospital. I was hospitalized in May, and I knew it was going to happen. I just didn't think it was going to happen so fast, and I didn't think that it would be so serious. I thought the process would be a lot simpler or smoother, but it wasn't. It was like a roller coaster. It just hit that dip and went down, and I had to be in the hospital for 2 months. So I was released a couple weeks ago, and I'm home. I'm actually going through recovery right now, and I'm on quarantine and stuff like that. And I'll explain all that in a second. But it's been a bumpy road over the last couple years, and it's been worse. If you've noticed, there's no oxygen. I don't need it anymore. So I'll get into it now. I am Puerto Rican. I know it doesn't look like it at all. You wouldn't tell by looking at me. But I'm full-blooded Puerto Rican, 100%. My mother and father are both from Puerto Rico. They are both from the northwest parts of the island, around Arecibo and Ponce. Because of that, they were both carriers of a specific gene, and it just happened to be that when two people with this very specific gene make children, the children become what they call albinos. It's a form of ocular albinism, is what they call it, which is caused by those two genes creating another gene that they've labeled HPS, and that stands for Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome, which is noted by the albinism and the stigmatism in vision. So I'm nearsighted. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I have very high movement in my eyes, so they're constantly moving, so it's hard for me to focus on things at distance, and sometimes up close too. So I've lived with this all my life. I was born with it. My sister was born with it as well, although she doesn't have the same condition as I do, because there are different types of HPS. There's I think 9 different types, some of which, if you're fortunate, you just have the albinism. And I know that sounds bad, but you have the albinism, and that's it. You're just a carrier. But there are other types that actually cause other problems in your system, which is what I had developed. It is a lack of platelets in my blood cells. So my blood, when I get cut or when I bleed longer. It takes longer for me to clot, things like that. And I bruise easily. Excuse me. It also has affected my lungs, and it causes pulmonary fibrosis, or a type of pulmonary fibrosis, which is scarring on the inside of the lung tissue. And there is no cure for that. The only cure is transplant or death. So in 2014, my wife and I found out. I was playing airsoft actually, and I was coughing a lot, so I thought I had a cold. And I took medicine, antibiotics, steroids, everything for a year, and nothing stopped it. It just kept coming. So I was working, and I had to take medicine and stuff all day just to keep myself from coughing around patients and stuff. Long story short, we saw a specialist, a pulmonologist, Dr. Daniel Katzman, at Resurrection Hospital in Chicago. Amazing doctor. We saw several actually before him, but no one knew what was wrong with me. He took a look. He looked at my blood cells. They did CTs and tests and blood tests, and he said, "You may have a very rare disease." He didn't even know what it was about. They didn't even know what it was, because this is a very rare thing, and it was discovered in 1959 by the doctors. And Puerto Ricans, we don't go to the doctor, either because of no insurance, poor health care in Puerto Rico, which is surprisingly ironic. Because that's where the hub of the HPS network is. But we don't go to the doctor unless it's actually something's wrong. We're hurting, and this disease can affect the kidneys, it can affect the liver or the lungs. And I got the one that affected the lungs. So I started coughing, went to see the doctor. He said, "Yep, you have they actually did a test. There's only one test you can do as a blood test, very specific blood test that measures your platelets and determines whether or not you have HPS. So you can't just say, okay, I have it, or, I don't have it. You have to actually take that test to know for sure. So we took the test. It turns out I had it. And they told us that, we had 8 to 10 years at best. They said, you're not going to go past that. So we were devastated. didn't know what to do, you know. So we followed protocol with the doctors. We went and saw another. He referred us to a specialist in lung transplants and things like that, because he knew he wasn't. Dr. Kessman knew he wasn't qualified to go that way. So he referred us to Dr. Daniel Dilling at Loyola University Medical Center and his team of lung specialists and stuff like that. So we went and saw him. We saw him for a while, you know, and I got on oxygen after a certain point in time. You guys know my videos, you can hear it hissing in the background. Again, I apologize. But, you know, the oxygen started at like 5 liters when I was walking, you know, and it gradually went up and up and up and up, and my oxygen levels went lower and lower and lower and lower. So I started doing pulmonary rehab, physical therapy, stuff like that, you know, to keep my strength up, you know. And then it came to the point where Dr. Dilling said, it's time to start thinking about a transplant. It's either that or you're not going to make it another year. Again, you know, devastated, shocked, you know. And we knew this was happening, but at the same time, when you hear it out loud, it just crushes your heart. You know, it just crushes you, you know. And to hear that there's no cure, there's nothing for it, you know, that just blows my mind. That pulmonary fibrosis is not just exclusive to HPS. A lot of people have it, you know, but there's nothing for it. That just, you know. So anyway, we started working on the transplant process, which required me to do a lot of different things with my weight, my health, my background. I had to go through rigorous testing for over a month, you know, blood drawn, you know, different types of blood tests, all types of pokes and stabs and all that stuff. And, you know, it turns out that due to my lack of drug use and alcohol abuse as a young man, I mean, I did do stuff, but I didn't abuse it. I was eligible to qualify for a transplant. So, you know, they decided to put me on a transplant. Well, once I qualified, they put me on a transplant list, and my number was like really low. It's based on a 100-point scale, and it was really low because I was still doing good. I was healthy still, you know. The worse you get, the higher your number goes. The closer you get to the top of the list. So fast forward, in May, I went to go see him as, you know, my monthly clinic visit, and he saw me, took a look at me, and he said, "I'm gonna have to admit you tonight." And I was like, "No, I'm okay. I'm just a little tired." He's like, "No, this is where it starts." He's like, "The work is gonna start now." So I went into the hospital. And that was rough. You know, that's where the roller coaster ride started, and we didn't expect it. You know, I thought we were going to stay for the weekend because he said, "We'll just observe you for the weekend. Come Monday, you go home." Cool, no problem. Monday came, I didn't go home. It got worse and worse and worse, and my oxygen levels dropped so fast within a few days. I mean, we're talking maybe a week. I was already at 60 liters of oxygen. They had to move me to an ICU because the machines that they had couldn't support my oxygen needs. And that was just sitting in a bed. So I didn't move for 2 months. I was stationary for 2 months. And there were some ups and downs during that process. You know, June 1st, well, actually right before June 1st, a couple doctors came in and said, you know, we are going to suggest life support because my lungs failed. They collapsed. My kidneys started failing. So I was going down that road. And we asked if there was an alternative to the life support because we knew it's called ECMO. I can't remember it's an acronym, but I can't remember the full term for it. You can look it up. EMCO. It's actually for life support for lungs. What it does is it pulls a couple ounces of blood out of your body through huge tubes in your neck. And I had them right here. I'll try to put a slideshow up. Be warned, it's a little graphic. I'm going to try to put a slideshow up after this video so you guys can see what it looks like. If you're interested, you don't have to look at it if you don't want to. But we asked if there was an alternative, and it takes the blood out and then reoxygenates it and then puts it back in. You know, but you're basically on life support. So we no alternatives. He said it's either that or you're going to die, because your kidneys are failing and you've got maybe a day left or two. Again, just what do? You know what I mean? He said it's time to make final plans. That just, it's not easy to hear that. My wife and I, we followed protocol. I started making plans of what I wanted to do with the rest of my belongings and where I wanted to be. June 2nd, they said they might have a donor. It was after the weekend, so they were like looking pretty grim, because usually on the weekends, young people do dumb things and things happen, and but it was Sunday and nothing was coming, so we were pretty much resigned to just me passing along. But they came in about midnight and said they had a donor. So we that gave me that little bit of energy to keep pushing through the process. And my wife being there, just made it, sorry. My wife was amazing, just being there with me through everything. And we waited, and we waited, and we waited, and we waited. Nothing was happening. They said they're looking at him, whatever. And the surgeon has to look at them and determine whether they're going to even keep them or not. So even though they have a donor, you're not necessarily guaranteed to keep those. So they came in and they said, the doctor said they're good. We're going to go forward. Surgery is going to be in the morning. That night I blacked out. My wife said I started having convulsions and bleeding and all this stuff, and they were going to call it, but I didn't give up. I could hear my wife talking, and it just woke me up. I knew just a little bit longer. So surgery happened that afternoon, or that morning rather, about like 10 o'clock or 9:30, I think the first incision was made. And I was sedated for a couple days, because big surgery. They open up your chest cavity, pull the old ones out, put the new ones in. There you go. So post-surgery, it's rough. I don't have to tell you guys. If any of you had surgeries, you know what it is. I was recovering, and go through all the stuff that you do with your recovering. You remove your feeding tubes, you remove your breathing tubes and stuff like that. You go through all that stuff. I went into AFib one night, and they called in the EKG carts and stuff like that, and they shocked me, and my wife, they had to get my wife out of the room, obviously, because the doctors were doing whatever they're doing, and they hit me with the electricity, and I sat up, and I'm thinking to myself, what the hell are these people doing to me? And I was going to get out of the bed, but I heard my wife again, and I realized I was actually restrained to the bed. So I didn't get up, I just thought I did. Out of body experience, I guess, if you believe in that type of thing. But after that, recovery was straightforward. I had to learn how to walk again, which I did. You know, I was moving, eating, doing all that stuff, and I just, you know, I told myself, you know, you made it through the surgery. You have a wonderful gift. Don't waste it. Keep moving. Never stop. Never stop. And I didn't. And I'm home. It doesn't guarantee anything, but I'm home. I'm exercising. I'm getting healthier. I'm getting stronger again. I'm gaining some weight, you know. My goal is to be able to do the things I was doing before, hiking, camping, you know, maybe even get back into airsoft if I can, you know, things like that, you know, get out and do my hobbies and get you guys more content, things like that. Not that, you know, it's the only priority, you know what I'm saying? But if I'm out there doing it, I want to share it with you guys. I want you guys to, you know, to go through that experience, or at least see, you know, share in my experience if you're interested, you know. So that's pretty much the gist of it. You know, I've been laying low because of it, and again, I really, you know, I really want to get back to doing these videos and, you know, sharing my years of experience with you guys, so to say. And again, I've been doing this since I was a little boy, which was back in the 70s, so 80s kid, you know. But yeah, I mean, you know, again, I felt you know, obligated to help, you know, you guys understand about this disease, Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome. You can actually look up there's a website, the HPS network.com, and you can check that out, and there's more information on the conditions, the specific gene types that cause it, the specific gene types that it has, and the specific types of Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome there is. The main network for it is in Puerto Rico, you know, and thousands of people gather like once a year, I think, to go to the convention. And, you know, I feel like it could use some support. You know, I feel like I'm going to do what I can now, you know, to not now, we've been doing it for a while now, my wife and I, but, you know, somehow support this network, either get the word out, spread the word, you know, whatever we can do to help, you know, people recognize that this is a real thing and that it's a serious thing, and that, you know, yes, it only affects a very small amount of people, not just Puerto Ricans. I think people in the Philippines get it too. You know, there's other albino, there's different forms of albinism. So it's not all the same. Just because they're white-skinned and light-haired doesn't mean they're all the same. They may have different conditions, may have different results of their conditions. They may have different, you know, they may not have any diseases like we do, or they may, you know, so you never know what you're dealing with, you know what I'm saying? Black culture has albinos too, so, you know, it's a gene. It's not something that anybody did anything wrong. You weren't given any nuclear food. It's a gene in your body that's just there, dormant, until it meets another gene of its kind, and you guys make a baby, and boom, there you go. So my children right now are carriers of this gene, but the only chance they have of having a child with my disease is if they meet someone from the island that is with that very specific gene. So basically, I told my kids, don't marry any Puerto Ricans. Sorry. Just, but like I said, I'd like to get the word out. So, and I know I normally don't say this, but I would really appreciate it if you guys shared this video with your friends or people who may not know. If you know somebody who has albinism, share it with them, please. Maybe they don't know. Mine started at 40, and they say that the symptoms for fibrosis and things like that start between 30 and 50. So mine started at 42. So you never know. You know, you may be able to help someone at least get a heads up and get a head start on the process. You know, more research brings more results, you know, and I know it sucks. It's science and the medical industry and the pharmaceutical companies, but more research brings more results. More exposure brings more knowledge, brings more results. So, you know, if you can, you know, share this video, man, I would really appreciate it. You know, it will help get that word out. But, you know, if you get the chance, check out hps.org or hps.com, hps.com, I think. It's one of the two. I know it is. But you get a chance, check it out if you're interested in just finding out more about this disease. And I appreciate your time. I appreciate your patience. I appreciate you sitting through this with me. I know it's a long video, but like I said, I felt obligated to kind of give you guys an understanding of what's going on with me and why I have survived the surgery, but now I have a whole new set of things I have to deal with. And just because you get a transplant, anybody who's had a transplant knows, just because you have a transplant doesn't mean you're out of the woods. That just means the real work's going to start, and you got to start changing your ways of living in order to stay healthy and survive. That doesn't mean you won't have rejection, because I could have rejection any day. But if I do everything I'm supposed to do, if I go by protocol, I reduce the chances of rejection greatly. And it sucks. I can't be around babies that have colds or shots or anything like that. There's all kinds of stuff. I can't be out after the rain, fungal infections and stuff like that. It's all kinds of things you have to look out for. But, it's a small price to pay to get a second chance at life. And I think I got that second chance. I didn't think I would ever get it. I didn't think a guy like me was going to get it or deserve the second chance, to be honest. I didn't think anybody was going to give me something like this. But I got a gift, and I just want to get the word out, and share my story so that maybe someone will see it and say, hey, what's going on with this? So hopefully, I've given some insight, or at least a direction to go in if you're dealing with this, or someone dealing with this, or anything like that. Yeah, that's pretty much my story, man. Like I said, I'm going to continue to try to do content for this channel. I have tons of stuff I want to do, and I want to share with you guys. I have a lot of, like you see, I have a lot of different hobbies under my belt, so I don't feel like I want to focus on any one of them. I want to share all of them with you guys. If you guys have questions about hobbies, how to paint something, how I actually build scenery for a war game, or how I build a model kit, my process, whatever you guys think of, ask me. Hit me in the comments below. I usually try to answer right away. I try to respond, and if it's a long response you're looking for, I could do a video if you want. Just put in the comments, just ask me your question and put video, please, and I'll know that okay, he's looking for a detailed response, not just, oh, do this, or oh, do that. Someone asked me about painting one of my tanks, and I threw a whole list of stuff up on the comments, and I thought to myself, man, I could actually do a video on that, and I should have done a video, and I think I probably will. And you know who you are, and I appreciate your support. But I'm going to try and get a video out for you to show you all the stuff I used, the process I went through, because I'm going to get another one eventually if I can. Well, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to try to get another one, and then I'll do the process through that. Hopefully, within the year, or 6 months or whatever, while I'm on quarantine. Which leads me to my next point. Right now, our situation financially, medically, you know how it is. Medicines and things like that, prescriptions, stuff like that, require finance, which we have, but that's it. So as far as new products and stuff like that I'm going to be unboxing and opening and reviewing and stuff like that, that will probably be minimal, unless I can get some help, support from you guys. I don't normally ask for help. I'm Puerto Rican. We don't ask for help unless it's dire, but I am asking for your help now. One, to get the word out about HPS and Hermansky-Pudlak syndrome. I really feel like that would be the greater good, and two, for me, or for the channel, any support would be appreciated. I have a PayPal account, I'll put the link in the description below. I do have a Patreon, I just don't know how to use it, guys. I mean, I'll be honest, I just started it before I went into the hospital, and I have no clue how to use it. That's my bad, that's a user error, it's not the site, it's me. I'm not savvy with it, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna try to learn how to use it, maybe get some exclusive content out for you guys, I think that's what people do pretty much. Like, they make exclusive videos, or they give early access to videos before they publicize it on YouTube. So I don't know. I don't know how it works. I'm gonna try and figure it out and see what I can do. But for now, I have a PayPal account. If you feel like you would like to help support the channel, and I would use obviously that for product and equipment and stuff like that. You know, nothing personal, because I'm at my personal life. I'm not in dire straits financially. I don't, you know, we can take care of our bills and everything like that. The channel itself is an extra that I cannot afford personally. So any help would be well appreciated. $1 a month, whatever you can, it doesn't matter. And I will try, if you like, to when I do a video, to put your name out there, or, you know, whatever it is. You know, if you want to stay anonymous, that's totally fine too. But like I said, I really want to keep this channel going. I really do. I fell in love with the process. I fell in love with just giving the information that I have. Like, even if you watch my unboxings, I talk about a lot of experience that I've had with things in the past. And, you know, it may help you. You may be an experienced hobbyist like me, and it may be nothing to you, you know, and that's okay. But, you know, there are people out there, I'm sure, who aren't experienced hobbyists, and our hobbies are diminishing right now. Our hobbies are shrinking. Yes, there's big companies and they're getting bigger and whatever. But if you look at the hobbies in a scale of today's youth, I mean, kids aren't going to the hobby shop and buying model kits anymore. You know, they're at 10 years old, they're asking for cell phones and tablets. You know, they're playing Fortnite, you know, and stuff like that. They're not building kits, or, you know, building miniature scenery or painting little figures. They're not doing that stuff. You know, so I'm hoping that I can reach out with this channel to those younger people and say, hey man, there's more. You can do more. You can be creative. You can let that out. You know, I've painted crappy models when I was younger. People laughed, you know, because I'm blind, so I have to paint real close, you know, which is why I haven't really done any how-to videos on painting, because I got to be real close, and you guys are going to just see my big head, you know. But nonetheless, I want to help people. I want to help expose people to our hobbies, because without that exposure, it's going to disappear, and everything will be virtual, and it's crap, you know. So again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you sticking with me through the dead space. You know, I appreciate anybody who subscribes. You know, if you subscribe, you share, you comment, like, dislike, whatever, please tell me. You know, show me that you like, hate, whatever my videos. You know, I appreciate all of it. You know, and I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for all your support. And I wish I could have you guys all sign my lung pillow. You know, they gave me, so when I cough I can do this and it doesn't hurt so much. But, you know, I can't send it out to everybody. But thank you guys again so much for your support and understanding. And hopefully I can get back to doing these videos and getting them out to you. And let me know what you guys think, man. Again, please, hps.com, hps.org, Hermansky-Pudlak Syndrome Network. Please share that. And thank you again for your support. And if you can donate, that would be awesome. If you can't, that's fine too. If you want to send me some product, that'd be great too. Some 40K miniatures, Age of Sigmar, some RC stuff, whatever you want me to check out, I'll check it out and I'll tell you what I think. Either way. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Zero's out.